Highland Games are a Scottish tradition of gathering in a field in the summer and seeing who can throw the largest stick, run the fastest or furthest, dance the best dance, and play the best bagpipe. However, there is a lesser known event which only takes place at a few Highland Games each year: cycling. Here's everything you need to know about the greatest show on grass. Highland Games cycling consists of 4 standardised events: the half mile, the 1 mile and the 2 miles. The finishing event, which is always the best for the spectators, is the deal take the hindmost. Whoever is last to cross the line, every lap gets eliminated until there's only 3 people left, and then it's the first to cross the line wins. These race lengths are therefore determined by how many competitors there are on any given day. Stay at the front and wear yourself out, or hover around the back and risk being eliminated. The devil takes the hindmost rider and they are out of the race. These races are hands down the most exciting, as each lap has an exciting sprint to not be last across the line. You can't just rock up on any bike on any given day. Each bike has a fixed chain ring like a bike you would find on a velodrome at the Olympics, and none of the bikes have brakes. This means you can't stop pedalling. If you stop your legs, your back wheel will stop and you'll go flying over the handlebars. Not very enjoyable. The competition varies between track to track. Most of the courses are grass, but not all of them. The grass may have been cut beforehand, or it may be very long, which will change the speed of the races drastically. Each course varies in length. There is no standard length, but they generally are around 300 yards. The courses have different soil and saturation. If it's dry for a couple of weeks beforehand, the ground hardens up and the course becomes very fast. And obviously, if there's been lots of rain, the ground becomes soft and mushy and makes the racing very slow and soggy. Because the course conditions vary so much depending on weather, the riders will adapt their gears between races, making it easier to pedal if it's really wet and making it harder if the ground is nice and firm. As we talked about earlier, there are generally 4 races at every Highland Games. However, each Highland Games has an opportunity to offer a unique distance or race which only happens at that specific Games each year, and it will be a championship. The winner receives a trophy with their name on, and if you're lucky, a bottle of whiskey. The players. Each rider is not of equal capability as you could imagine, so to prevent the same person winning everything, the Highland Games start each rider with a handicap. This is where the slower or less powerful riders get a head start on the faster riders. Each rider is set an individual handicap before each race, which means that when the race starts, it's all spread out with the idea that it will all finish and be bunched up in a sprint. The handicapper has notes on all of the finishes and can move people around throughout the day, so that if you're too strong, you'll get moved back, and if you can't keep up, you'll get moved forward. At the start of each race, the cyclist needs to go to the handicapper and receive their mark from where they'll start. The handicapper then has to check everyone is on their mark before they can start the race. So although a race can be 800 yards or half a mile, it's only the person who starts from scratch who will cycle the full 800 yards. The other slower cyclists start ahead and may only need to ride 750 yards. Because this system is used, there is no racing categories or leagues. The women and men race in the same race and all ages compete against each other. So one race can be won by a 26-year-old woman and the next race can be won by a 56-year-old man. It's awesome. What makes it the greatest show on grass? Highland Games cycling has so many factors which makes it great to watch. The courses are vastly different, so much so that some of the riders don't go to some of the events because it's too fast, or because one of the courses runs along the ditch, so if you fall off, you're basically in a river. The course can change riding styles and completely changes race outcomes depending on what course they're on. The weather changes the speed of the racing drastically. Some courses they can't keep their legs up with how fast they're spinning, and then when it's pouring down, it's a tough slog all the way around, and they come off their bikes covered in sludge and spray. A less powerful rider onto soft ground is less weight to push around the waterlogged course, so they can survive longer out there, and any race can be won by anyone, as the races are handicapped, and each race is designed to have a contested finish, which makes for a great spectator sport. You don't know who's going to win until the finish. You now know everything that you need to know about Highland Games grass track cycling. If you're ever at Highland Games and you see them, give them a cheer, give them a wave, and listen for the bell for the last lap. These cyclists travel all over the country to compete against each other, and that's why it's the greatest show on grass. Here is a list of some of the Highland Games that are going to have cycling this year. If you're in Scotland, if you're coming to some of the Highland Games, watch out for the cyclists, and I hope you enjoyed the video.